Hello everyone, my name is Saokosal. This is part 4.2 of how to connect Android with PHP and MySQL using Volley. This is where you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter and GitHub. And in this part particularly, I talk about how to upload the image to server. And the previous part 4.1 is how to load the data from the gallery. So we will talk about how to prepare the images and ready for uploading to the server and write some code in the PHP for the uploading. If you are new to this video, I suggest you to go to my YouTube channel, Saokosal, and watch the previous video before you come to this video. Okay. So this is what we have done. We could open a picture from a gallery, okay, something like that, and then put into the image view in the scroll view, okay, something like that, and we will upload these pictures into the server. Okay, so what we have done here is get the image from the gallery, and then when we get the image, we add to the linear layout here. So now we want to add to an array list, so that we use that array list to upload that to the server. So we should create an array list here. So array list is just a string and image list. Okay, over here, whenever you get the image by the photo path, then you add that into the image list. Okay. And if you don't have the source code, you can go to my video here and download the source code in the description. I put the URL to the source code. Okay, then you can continue. Okay, now you have this array list. Add it anytime that you retrieve the photo path from the gallery, and then we need to add an event to the upload here. So we don't have it yet here. So here is the IV upload. Okay, set on click listener, new. Now it is the place that you will upload all the images to the server here. And then we need to run the for loop. Okay, so it's a string, so image path, image list here. Actually, it's just a path of any image, and you have to remember that this library, the photo loader, can only load one time from this. You cannot reuse this bitmap. If you try to reuse this bitmap, it's gonna have some error. So if you want to display an image again, you have to reload it. Okay, so for now we want to convert the bitmap, the image to the base64 string. Like I told you in the previous video, that we can only send the string into the server, so we have to encode the image to the base64 string. So in order to encode that, we have to reload the bitmap again. So bitmap, actually it's the same code here, so just copy here and maybe image path here, and we need try and catch here because a file cannot be found sometimes. Okay, so this is the bitmap, and you want to encode that bitmap. So you can use one of my library as well. So you can go to my GitHub here, GitHub Console Git, PhotoUtil here. You can see some document. This is the image loader, and I put the alias to image to photo loader. And now you can use the image base64 here. So this is a part of the library. Okay, so string, and I call it encoded string equal image base64, and then you encode the bitmap. Okay, then this string is ready to put into the server. Okay, now you want to send this to the server, and remember it's not only one feature, we have 2 or 3, so it is running in the for loop. So now we have to use Volley here. So is this like anonymous class inside the anonymous class here? It's gonna be like messy a little bit, but it's okay. So you have a string request, right? No, I didn't include the Volley yet, so we have to include that. So you go to Android here, the build, and then we have to go to Google and type like Android Volley library, and here the second one, and just like I said in the previous video, this one is deprecated. You should not use that. You have to use the one from the Android Volley. This is the official one. Copy and paste it here, and you have to sync it. Okay, so then we need my singleton, so you have to go to the first one here, and you go to setting up a request queue here. And if you don't understand why I'm doing this, I encourage you to go to the first video of the series. Then you know how to do that and why I do that. Okay, so I have to grab the code here, my singleton, and let's create a class here. Right click, new, and I call it my singleton here. Just delete it, but don't delete the package, just delete the code here and pass it. And we have one problem here because of the LRU cache doesn't know the library, because there are 2, so we have to include the one from the version 4 here. Okay, now you are good to go. Go back, close it here. Now you can call the string request. Okay, and I just call maybe string request as well, new string request, and the first one is the method post or get. So now we want to post the data, so yeah, method and post. Okay, and the second one is a URL, and we will create a URL for that, but now just a blank one. And then we need the data back, so new listener, and you go here like after the curly brace here, new again, and ArrayListener. Okay, and then don't forget to add that to my singleton here, get instance, get application, and add to request queue here, so string request. Okay, but for this one I encourage you not to do like this, because when you do like this, it's like you add one like one thing like in the loop, like you in the first one you add, and the second one you add, third one you add. Remember, the Volley is not you know, first in first out. It's a real multitasking thread. So I encourage you not to do something like this. I want to call it after like you run all the loop here. So I want to call it outside. But the problem now, you have this because you want to put the parameter here, and how can you get this outside? So to do that, you have to create a command. A command is a pattern, a design pattern. You can go to Google and type design pattern command, and maybe tutorial point is about Java. So command is like, you can read from here. A request is wrapped under an object as a command and passed to invoke object. Invoker object looks for the appropriate object which can handle this command and passes the command to the responding object which execute the command. So it's like, like at first you put the request into a class array, and in the end you call it. It's similar to a rocket, like let me find a picture of that. Okay, you can see this. It is exactly to the volley request and also a command. Like at first you ask all the vehicle to prepare it, so that you add the key to be ready to fire. Like, okay, uh, car 1 ready, car 2 ready, car 3 and to car n is ready. And then you said that wait for my command, and then if you say that fire, then all the vehicles will fire the rocket at the same time. So this is kind of the command in the design pattern. So to do that, you have to have a class, and then this is the command class here, and you add all the class requests to the array list, and then whenever you set execute or fire, then it will read from the array back again. Okay, so I suggest you to read that for more information, but now I will show you how to do that. So here you have to create another class. So I will stick with just my and maybe my command. So create a constructor, my command. Okay, nothing here. And let's see what is the data type of the request. Oh, okay, you remember when you call the add to request queue in here? Add to request queue. So that one need a request. Okay, so this is the request. So we need to add an array, a type of request T. Okay, so here ArrayList request T, like this. Okay, and maybe T here as well, and then I will just pop this like request list new ArrayList like this. Okay, so add, so you add request. So whenever you want to add, it's just like you add to the array list. Okay. And remember, array list now is not just a string; it's a class. It's a type of class request. So any type that comes with the request, you can add that. Okay. And then maybe you have remove, because sometimes you want to remove as well. But the same thing here. So you remove from the array list. And then you have a method This is very important. This is called command or fire or execute. So whatever you want is like in the picture here. You set fire, then all the rocket will be fired. So maybe just call execute is enough. And then for loop again. So request T here, request from the request list. Then I will call my singleton and then get here. So for now we need like a context, so it's a good chance that we can put a context in the constructor here. Context. So I have to create a property here. Context, and this one must be private as well. So here is context. So add, okay, and request. So the add here will be fired, okay, one by one. So now we have to add this one to an array list. So we have to create the my command outside here. So we call my command new my command and get application context here. So I will use my command. So like anytime you get the request, then I will add that to my command. So I will add string request, because string request here is the request as well, so then it can add it, because we want to use my command inside the anonymous class like this. So here is anonymous class, then we have to declare it as final. Okay, now you are good to go, and then you can add that, and in the end here you can call my command and execute. So here all the things that you add, okay, into my command will be fired at the same time. Okay, so in this way you can make sure that the request added first and then you fire after the request added. Okay, so now we take care of the command, and then we have to take care of the data that we put to here. So in order to put here, you can call the overriding, but in Java there is a way to call the anonymous overriding by here. Okay, after the close brace here, you have to open the curly brace here, and then you call get param. Okay, and if you don't have the suggestion like this, you just put the cursor here and you go to code and override here, then you can have the get param over here. Okay, make sure that you put the A to Z here, that's easy to find. Okay, and now you add the hash map. It's a string, and for the get param, get header, I made a video already in the second one, so I encourage you to watch that in the second and third one. Okay, it's more detail here. So now just call param and new. This one is map, and this one is hash map. So we add param, maybe with s, okay, and we put the data here. So the data here will be the encoded string here. Okay, so we put here. Again, here must be final. Okay, anything that go from the usual class to the anonymous class, then have to be final. Okay, so I will call just image. Okay, so this one will be used in the PHP. Okay, so make sure that the value, the key here has to be the same, and here is okay. And this one I don't need it, and then just return that. Okay, so this data will go to the URL and you will get the data back over here. And if there is something error, put here, so make toast. Okay, so here is get application context, and here you set like error while uploading image. Okay, and if you get the data back, then you can post it as well. So the data is response here, and if you want to check the overall error, you can do that, but I made the video in the second one already, so just watch the second one to know how to handle different errors. So now we need the URL that you can upload that image to the server. So I use XAMPP here, and my port is 80. Okay. So like I said, if you use the Jenny Motion, you have to use the alias 10.0.3.2. You cannot use localhost here, okay, because localhost is different, because in Jenny Motion in the emulator you have the localhost also, which is will conflict with this one. So if you use localhost, will be called to the internal emulator. So you have to call with the IP, but you cannot use like this. It's still localhost. So the number 10.0.2.2 is for the built-in emulator, and the BlueStack also 10.0.2.2. But I use Genie Motion is 3. Okay, if you have port, then you have to provide the port, things like that, and make sure that before you run this, you have to go to your emulator, run from the browser here, and then you need to run the web server or XAMPP, whatever you want, and test it in here. And because you don't have the URL, but you just test something like this: http://10.0.3.2. and if you can get this page, then you are good to go. Sometimes you don't have this page because WAM or XAMPP prevent you from connecting from different device. Then you have to go to Google and check something like, if you are using WAM, and you check like permission denied. Okay, and then you can fix that. And if you're using XAMPP, same thing. Okay, so now I can use that. So this is my project here. So I want to create a new one. I will show you how to do that. So let's create a folder. It's called image. So you need to provide a password, just usual, and you need to maybe rename it to image upload test. Okay, now the password, and also you have to give a permission, and you go to get info here, and make sure that you have everyone read, something like that, read only. And if you don't, then you have to open the key, give a password here, okay, and then change to read only. Okay, and if you want to apply to the enclosed item, you can, and then okay here, and read, and close the key. And the most important folder is the file, the image. So here, so I will say upload It's just the upload, and you have to give the right permission. So you have to make sure that this one not read only is right as well, because you want to write from outside. Okay, right, and also this one is right. Okay, and if you want to change the, like next time you want to change the rename the file, then maybe you have to enclose that as well, and then close it. So this folder is very crucial for your project, because everyone can write anything to this folder, include virus, and and hacker can know that. So you have to make sure that the folder is invisible, or maybe have to be absolutely secret. No one can find that. So maybe you can create another folder like that, and the folder here cannot use outside the project. So you have to make sure that it's secret. So for now, it's okay. And if you are using Windows, I suggest you to go to maybe Google and then find WAM file put content permission deny Windows, like that. Then you can see the permission, because on Windows you still have to put the permission, because you are using in the WAM or XAMPP. So the permission usually read only, not write. Okay. Now for me, I'm fine. So I need my file. Actually, I wrote a file, a PHP code already, so just use that. I will explain it. So here I have to check the post image is already set or not. With the if set, if it is not set, maybe I have some echo that notify that image not in. Maybe I put the image wrong, like that, so it's gonna be an error. And then I assign to image, and I create a function, upload, take the image here. So these two lines will create a unique name for the image. You have to remember, when you add a picture to here, the name can be conflict, because the name from the from the Android can be the same anytime. So you don't want to have any conflicts name. So you have to make sure the name has to be unique. So I create with a micro time. So this is gonna be not second, but like the micro time as well. And the upload folder is very important. It has to be inside. Okay, inside. So this one, and people just put something like this. Like they want to, like, okay, like example and .com and upload. You have to remember that this function cannot upload any data to the HTTP. So you cannot put the HTTP here. That's why the folder has to be inside the project. Okay, use like this is okay. So you should not put any HTTP in the folder. Okay, and make sure, if you are using the real hosting, you make sure that your hosting give a permission to upload that. Okay. And then the ID, this is the ID of the file. We put it over here. So then we get the full path. And then remember, when we put the image, we don't put just the physical image. We encode it to the base64. So we encode, and here we decode. Okay, and the function is this PHP function, base64 in decode. You don't have to write yourself. So that's all. And you put that into the path. So path here, and content with s here. Okay. And then if you upload it successfully, then you can get echo back, like uploaded success, or whatever you want to say. But remember, here you cannot say equal true, because there is no true here. because if you upload it successfully, it's gonna be number one. Okay, so that's why you cannot say true, because there is no true here. But then you can say, it's not false. Okay, remember you have to put like this. And if there is an error, then you can echo back uploaded file. Okay, this is the URL, so I will use that. So first you need to test from your browser, so localhost and image upload test and upload PHP. Okay, now you get the URL right, except you don't put any image in, then you can use that. So this is the path to that. Okay, so now you have anything, you have the post. Okay, because you use post here, and then the URL. This is the URL, and sometimes you want to test this from your real device, your real phone, then this one has to be replaced with your PC IP address. So you can check it on Mac. You go to Open Network Preferences, and this is the IP, and make sure that your phone and your PC are in the same network, so must be in the same network. So if you test from your phone, then it has to be your PC IP. Okay, but now you want to test from your emulator, so test it like this, and this is the response. So let's see. Usually the Android 2.0 has some cache, so I have to clean it first, make sure that it starts from the beginning. Okay, let's see. You can upload it or not. Maybe one more time. Okay, I think there is an error because I forget put the permission to the net, to the internet. So go to Android manifest. So only reading. So we have to put the permission here, internet. So okay, so okay, upload. Yes, uploaded, success, and check the folder. Boom, now you got the image. Okay, so maybe one more time, but we have to clear it. Actually now I don't have the code to clear it, but maybe you can do it yourself. But let's try one more. Okay, and maybe upload it. Okay, now you can upload, just like I said, the image loader, it only loading one time. So you have to, have a mechanism to refresh that, or maybe you load another image. Okay, so maybe you have to clear the array, and then you can reload this one. Okay, but this is the basic idea. So I will not go further. This is the basic of the using Volley. For the advanced part, maybe I will make some more video in the future. So for now, that's it for the request and uploading multiple images to the server. I hope you enjoy it, and please don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel, and make sure you check this because I will make some more video about Android Volley. So for now, thank you, and I will see you in the future.